LULU. Fade in. Interior apartment day. A pair of shoes, frumpy, orthopedic, being laced up. Exterior apartment day. A door closes. The sound of keys locking the door. Interior tenement building, hallway, day. The back of Ursula, mid-60s, dressed in a dowdy woolen skirt to below the knees, white stockings, an old leather handbag slung over her shoulder. This is a woman from another time and place. She shuffles slowly down a dilapidated hallway, then exits the main entrance. The door slams shut behind her. Exterior, street, day. Establishing, neighborhood of Los Angeles. A camera follows Ursula against opening music as she passes row upon row of small, simple homes and nondescript apartment buildings. Interior, office building, day. Ursula enters from a back room with a bucket of cleaning supplies, a mop and pail. Interior, tenement building, hallway, day. The same door from the opening scene, the sound of keys. Exit Aleksander, Ursula's husband, 70s, weathered looking, wearing a parking attendant's uniform. He locks the door, walks down the hallway, then exits the main entrance. The door slams shut behind him. Interior, office building, end day. Ursula, returning the cleaning supplies, then exiting the building. Exterior, street, day. As Ursula is walking down a street, she is stopped by a woman, Laura, 40s.
Excuse me, do you know where the closest train station is?
Go 2 streets down. Turn right, up the stairs.
Thank you. And do you know if it takes you downtown?
Maybe you need to change to a different line. Switch out.
Close up on Ursula's mouth as she continues to talk. Suddenly ageless, beautiful, seductive as the lips move in slow motion. All peripheral noise fades into the background. Laura watches her finish speaking, transfixed.
Thank you.
Laura's about to walk off, but then she stops, unable to shake something.
Excuse me, are you interested in making a little bit of extra money?
Ursula looks at her blankly. Exterior, street, soon after. Ursula follows Laura down an unremarkable street. They stop in front of an unremarkable building. Interior, call center building, day. Laura enters, followed by Ursula. As they climb the stairwell, Ursula studies her surroundings, assessing the dirty windows, walls, corners, with business-like interest. They stop on a landing outside an office door. Laura presses a buzzer. The door opens. They enter. Interior, call center, offices, continuous. Ursula follows Laura past a woman sitting on a sofa, her feet up on a coffee table. Between an overflowing ashtray, piles of celebrity magazines, a half-eaten pizza, and an open box. She paints her toenails and fans them with a magazine. She looks up as they pass.
So?
It's the carburetor. I'll pick it up tomorrow.
They continue on, past a set of office cubicles lining a wall. In the background, muffled sounds of pleasure. We glance into some of the open doors to see a young woman with tattoos and brightly dyed hair holds a telephone receiver between her shoulder and ear, her mouth wide open as she flosses her teeth, whilst making unconvincing moaning sounds into the phone. The woman glances up, nonchalantly, watching as Ursula and Laura pass. Another woman, 50s, laughs coquettishly into a telephone receiver, a well-worn novel turned over on the desk in front of her. Interior, Laura's office, day. Laura indicates for Ursula to take a seat. Then she exits, leaving the door open. Ursula sits stiffly. She looks around the sparse room, consisting of a small desk and a telephone. Muffled sounds of moaning can be heard in the background. Laura returns holding a script. She hands it to Ursula.
Just read it exactly like it is.
Ursula pauses. She takes out a pair of spectacles from her handbag, puts them on, then begins reading silently to herself. Slowly, she looks up at Laura in silence.
Go ahead. Just read the copy. Imagine you're reading a cooking magazine.
Cooking?
Go on. Give it a try. Just relax. You're reading How to Make Your Oven Hot.
Ursula looks at her blankly.
How to make my oven got.
Soon after, Ursula sits, hunched over, deep in concentration as she reads from the script.
I am got.
No, not caught. Hot.
Hoot. I feel hot for you. Yes, so hot for you. I want to take you. take you in my mouth.
Mouth?
Mouth. Yes, so hot for you.
She looks back up, questioningly, her finger keeping her place in the script. Laura looks back at her with a smile.
Look, if you can do 2 nights a week, I'll pay you $100.
Ursula's eyes widen. She's stunned at the amount. Laura tears off a piece of paper from the script and scribbles something down. She hands it to Ursula. On the scrap of paper, the number 1-800-HEAT-LINE scribbled over the typed words, "I feel so hot for you." Interior, apartment, kitchen, night. Ursula is chopping vegetables on a cutting board. The sound of keys from the hallway, then a door opening. Interior, hallway, night. Alexander enters. His movements are slow and tired.
I make borscht. They had no pork.
He hangs up his coat in silence. Interior, call center, Ursula's cubicle, night, first shift. Ursula is sitting at a cubicle desk, a clipboard with paper in front of her. Laura stands behind her, indicating a telephone at the desk in front of her.
When the red light flickers, you pick up the phone. Then you just make a tick here each time you speak to someone. Okay?
Ursula nods. Laura exits. Ursula's eyes dart nervously at the door, then back over at the telephone. Later, Ursula is sitting dead still, staring at a red light flashing impatiently from the telephone. The script lies open in front of her. She takes a deep breath, then painfully, slowly, reaches for the receiver.
Hello. What can I do for you?
Exterior, tenement building, street, night. The back of Ursula shuffling slowly down the street. She arrives at her apartment building and lets herself in. Interior, apartment, living room, night. Close up, Ursula and Alexander staring ahead. Images from a television flash across their faces. Distant voices in Polish come from the TV. Moving out, Alexander and Ursula sitting in their respective armchairs, watching. In front of them, the remains of prepackaged TV dinners on their laps. Interior, Ursula's cubicle, night, second shift. A slightly more relaxed Ursula holds the script in one hand and picks up the telephone. She disengages the flashing red light while cradling the phone on her shoulder and putting on her reading glasses.
Hello. How can I help with you?
She cranes, listening. Interior, Ursula's cubicle, night, third shift. An even more relaxed Ursula has just finished a call. She puts the receiver down, then makes a check on the clipboard. The red light on the switchboard starts flashing. She picks it up, disengages the light.
Hello.
Silence. She waits. Nothing.
What do you want today?
She casually kicks off one of her shoes and rubs the stockinged foot with her hand.
Hello. I hear. You there?
The sound of a throat being cleared.
Yes?
Ah, that's good. So, what you want today?
Silence. She takes off her other shoe, places it neatly next to the one under her desk. She sits back to study their alignment.
You there?
Ursula glances around the room for something to do. She spots her handbag and begins shuffling through its contents.
Yes. Yes, I'm here.
She finds an old receipt, looks at it briefly, throws it away in a nearby trash can.
You want talk?
Yes.
Yes, what?
Yes, I want talk.
So, talk.
So, what they call you?
Ursula suddenly freezes. A long pause.
Hello? You still there?
Ursula's mouth begins to drop. Her eyes widen for an instant as the sick realization begins to rise within her.
So what they call you?
She listens attentively, making sure.
Hello?
Ursula sits completely frozen. Her expression, confusion and shock with a quickening undercurrent of sadness. She's sure.
Hello? You there?
Long pause.
Yeah. Yes. I hear.
She jumps slightly at the sound of her own voice, realizing something. Panicked, she searches the room with her eyes and settles on her scarf. She grabs it and wraps it around the mouthpiece of the telephone.
Your name. What's your name?
Close up on Ursula's mouth, the lips as they try to move. She mumbles something unintelligible into the receiver, then clears her throat softly.
LULU.
Can you speak higher?
LULU.
Ah, Lulu. It's nice. LULU.
Long silence. Ursula's eyes dart around the room nervously.
Time up. Time up.
She fumbles, trying to disconnect the call. Interior, apartment, living room, night. Ursula and Alexander sit in front of the television set, TV dinners on their laps. But now, Ursula watches Alexander out of the corner of her eye, his expression deadpan as he mechanically eats. Interior, call center, Ursula's cubicle, night. Ursula has just finished a call. She puts the phone down. It immediately flashes red again.
Hello?
LULU?
It's the same voice from before. Ursula stiffens.
LULU, you have good day?
Again, she searches for something with her eyes, settling for her hand, which she uses to cover the mouthpiece of the telephone.
Yes.
Where are you from?
I from East Europe.
Ah, me too.
Silence.
You like it here?
I like, but not too much.
How long you here?
Silence.
I go. I go now.
Ursula quickly puts the phone down. She sits staring at the phone, unable to move. Interior, apartment, bedroom, night. In the darkness, Ursula stands at the doorway, watching Alexander as he sleeps. Interior, call center, Ursula's cubicle, night. Ursula is filling out the time chart on the clipboard. From the hallway outside,
Jesus, Ula, it's him again. He wants you.
Ursula jumps. She shakes her head frantically to herself as if refusing to the call. The red light flashes with increasing urgency. Slowly, Ursula reaches for the phone, her pace quickening as she gets closer. Interior, parking attendant cubicle, night. The back of Alexander, hunched over in a quiet cubicle, a telephone receiver held tightly in one hand.
LULU, where are you from?
A long silence.
I'm from Warsaw. You?
Krakow.
Ah, you from Poland too. You miss it?
Silence. He waits. Then,
What you miss? What you miss from your home?
Pierogi. I miss pierogi.
Ah, pierogi. And plaski. You married, LULU?
Yes. You?
close up, the side of an unshaven cheek.
She left me. She went back to Poland.
Intercut with Ursula, a quickly rising sadness as his words settle. Interior, apartment, bedroom, night. In the semi-darkness, Ursula and Alexander lay next to each other in bed. Against the soft sounds of Alexander sleeping, Ursula stares up at the ceiling. Then, she looks over at him. She studies his face. Interior, call center, Ursula's cubicle, night. Ursula is in mid-conversation while drinking a cup of coffee.
They make the best ones in North Hollywood. You must try them.
Yes, I tried.
LULU, I want meet you.
Ursula freezes, the phone in one hand slipping slightly down her cheek.
No, not possible.
I want meet you.
No.
Silence. She takes a deep breath, closes her eyes, opens them again, they dart across the room wildly.
You there? Please, I meet you. Friday, 7 o'clock.
Ursula shakes her head definitively. Interior, office building, public restroom, dusk. Ursula is standing in front of a mirror. She looks at herself, closer, harder. Then, she reaches into a worn-looking handbag and takes out a leather pouch. She opens it, pulls out a comb and begins fixing her hair. Next, an old-looking lipstick. She applies the color to her lips. Then she pinches her cheeks, trying to give color. She looks back at the reflection.
You feel like that? Sometimes? Like you have no home?
Ursula stares at herself for a long moment. Then she takes off the lipstick with the tissue and exits. Exterior, meeting place, dusk. Ursula is sitting on a bench, waiting. She looks down at her watch. Exterior, meeting place, night. Ursula is still waiting. She looks at her watch again. Later, she wraps her arms around herself, buttons up her coat, and gets up stiffly. Slowly, Ursula walks off into the darkness. Exterior, bus stop, night. Ursula is waiting for the bus, staring ahead. Later, the bus pulls off. Ursula leans her head against the glass. She stares into the distance. Exterior, tenement building night. Ursula approaches the building, intercut with a table, set of an array of traditional Polish foods, pierogies, kluskis, dumplings. Ursula, walking towards her apartment building, man's hands, lighting candles. Ursula, entering the building, man's hands, placing small glasses on the table, then filling them with Polish vodka. Ursula, slowly climbing the stairs, man's hands, lighting a cigarette. Ursula, walking toward the door. Interior apartment living room night. Alexander is sitting in his armchair, smoke rising from one hand. In the other hand, he fingers a weathered-looking scrap of paper. He leans back, opens up the paper. On the scrap of paper, close up, it's the same paper torn from the hotline script with the number 1-800 heat line. Alexander, staring down at the paper with a gentle smile. Ursula's hand opening the front door.